Welcome to the Small Church Podcast. I'm Boyd.
I'm Alex.
And I'm John.
And we're back with episode number 20. Number 20. It seems like I say it every week, but keep getting up there. I'm excited. It just feels like a success every week that we get another number. I mean, I know it's not a big deal, and, church people are not supposed to talk about numbers, but, just seeing 20 on there, it's like, wow, we've almost come 2 full years. Yeah. I mean, 4 episodes, we'll be at 2 full years of recording time on here. So that's cool to think about. So do a little recap from last week. We talked about me building a pool, so working on that and the process of that. We talked about the cornhole tournament. We talked about John having some truck problems. We talked about, in modern day time, we talked about Baylor's surgery, and they were planning for that. Just sickness that Alex was dealing with. We talked about, as far as the church goes, we talked about building windows and trimming doors out and all that fun stuff. And we talked about me going to MIPs a couple weeks ago. So before we get too deep into August of 24, we'll jump in with Alex and John. Alex, tell me a little bit about your week.
It's been a fun week. Ashley started her new job finally. So that's been great. The environment there is so much better. It's amazing when I hear people talk about, I heard this growing up, but people said a lot, wise people, I will say that who you work with and what it's like to work there is almost more important than how much you make.
Yeah. If
you do not like the people you work with or the environment there is rough, you're not going to enjoy working there no matter how much money you make. And I feel like she's gotten an upgrade in that. There is so much more loving and joyful there.
Yeah.
And it's been wonderful. So she doesn't stress about work anymore, which has been great. As you know, if Jordan and Julie are stressed out about work, that impacts your whole house. It impacts your kids. Does. Because the moms kind of set the joy in the house.
Yeah, for sure.
If mom's not joyful, dad's not joyful. Dad can be joyful, and it doesn't really matter. We don't set the pace and joy. We set the pace and structure and discipline.
Oh, I've been happy a lot of times, and my wife shut it down real quick.
Exactly. We've all been there.
Why are you making those jokes? I make those jokes every day.
We're having a great day, and they're sitting there thinking, this has been the worst day ever, and the kid feeds off of that.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's been nice. And then he got a haircut, his second haircut, actually, and what is it about a small child getting a haircut and they look older?
Yeah.
How does that work? I look younger when I get a haircut.
Yeah.
Especially
a beard shave.
God, I need one bad. And I got a funny story about that. Oh, my God. All right. So the other day, I was getting ready to trim my beard, and I was brushing my teeth at the same time.
Yeah.
Trying to multitask.
I've never seen anybody do that before in their life, which I don't watch many men trim their beard or brush their teeth. But
I wouldn't think you would watch any. So, it's a sonic toothbrush. So you just got to hold it and just kind of move it around.
Sonic the Hedgehog?
No, like ultrasonic. The ones that like this insanely fast vibrations. Like you don't have to do this. You're just like, it does the work for you. It's a Philips or whatever. So I'm doing that, and then I finish, and then I get ready to go to the beard because I'm trying to be quick. And for whatever reason, it slipped out, and I'm over the toilet because I was brushing my teeth and I didn't want to get toothpaste all over the place.
Yeah,
you brush your teeth over the toilet?
No, but I do when I'm about to shave, because I shave sometimes over the toilet because I don't want it to clean up.
You only got one sink.
Yeah, I don't want it to clean up. I don't want to clog the sink.
Can you see yourself in the mirror over the toilet?
No.
So you're shaving without a mirror?
No. Oh, I was just trimming. I put it on the 3, and then I just go through and trim it.
Okay.
I wasn't shaving it all the way off. I wasn't going for looks. I was just going to get it out of my face. And for whatever reason, my brain wasn't used to that. And I took the toothbrush out, and then I just dropped the razor into the toilet.
Oh, Electric. My gosh.
And for whatever reason,
You reached in there and grabbed it?
No, it's not what I flushed.
You flushed? You're going to have plumbing problems. Did it go down?
No, the head of it broke. The metal head of it broke off. Somehow in the...
Oh, disgusting.
And gone. The metal head was gone. So the razors... I had to throw the razor.
You're never going to fix your plumbing.
It'll be fine. It's city plumbing. It's on a city line. It's gone.
If it makes it there, you're right.
It made it there. It's gone. If it gets to the street, we're done. It's over. Okay. Nothing's wrong. I don't know why. Why did I go and hit the...
You was still asleep.
Why did I flush?
Oh my gosh! What a mistake!
This might be the most spastic thing I've ever heard in my life.
I was doing too much.
Just panic flush.
And I just flushed it.
It was a courtesy flush if I've ever seen one.
As soon as I reached out the door, I was like, "Don't do that! Don't do that!" And then I did it. You ever tell yourself not to do something while you're doing it? You're like, I gotta do it. I gotta finish.
That's how people go to jail.
Anyway, so we
Don't
had
rob
that.
that bank.
I had that. She didn't have that. She's finding out right now on this episode about that.
Oh my gosh,
I haven't
that'll be
told
good
her.
for her.
I didn't know how to tell her. She would be like, "You seriously cannot multitask two things at once."
By now, it's been a couple days, so if you had plumbing problems, you'd know. So
It's been over a week.
now you don't have to explain.
It
nothing.
wasn't this past weekend; it was the weekend before.
So you need a new razor for Christmas, got it.
It's coming in the mail from Amazon. It'll be here tomorrow. Had that. Finally won the spark plug battle. It's in the vehicle, so I can fire it up and not have to worry about a misfire. We had UA's Halloween. That was fun.
Yeah.
Got to meet some athletes who are huge. And when they hold a baby, you ever seen a 6'8", 300-pound human hold a baby?
I've seen him hold a football. It's pretty close.
He's about the size of a football.
Yeah.
That was about the size of a football. Did that. Then went to a senior night out at West Blockton. That was fun. Most boring game I've been to in a long time. 14-3. Didn't know that could be a score in high school football anymore. No offense. So, but sorry, Ashley, about if our plumbing ruins in the next week.
Yeah.
My bad.
What an eventful week. So always something with plumbing with Alex. If y'all watch this podcast, y'all know.
Yeah.
John, tell me a little bit about your week.
Yeah, I had a busy couple weeks. We had our fall festival at church, which I thought was worthy to speak on. Had a lot of people come through there, and we did a little raffle. So as people were coming in, I was able to meet people and introduce myself and tell them, you know who I am and what we do here, or answer questions that they had. Or I think we saw 150ish people, I think, or maybe a little more than that. But so that was really good turnout. It was fun. A lot of candy, a lot of fun, games and stuff. So then I went to a field trip with my son Riley. That was awesome. I was talking to Boyd about that this afternoon. Just taking off a day from work, not having anything really to worry about. Just we got to the barnyard thing where they have it's a pumpkin patch, but there's animals, there's games, there's all kind of stuff. Went with this school. That was really fun. I was proud of him because he wasn't scared of any of the animals. I thought that might be a problem, but I've got pictures of him holding a little chicken. He pet a bunch of pigs. He pet a llama, fed a llama. He did all kind of stuff with all the animals. It was a good time. And then
I will say it's a little bit embarrassing as a parent when your kid does freak out. So that's why you're proud of him, because when your kid is the pansy, you're like, oh my gosh, just hush.
There were some
it's just
of those,
a goat.
There were some of those there. Yeah. Oh, there were a lot of goats there. That's funny. Then this
Riley
past
milked them,
weekend,
or was it just a?
Well, it's funny. There was like a make-believe cow
Oh yeah,
that you could walk up to, and it had like plastic udders.
that's pretty
Or
fun.
maybe it was like rubber udders.
Yeah,
And I guess it had water in there.
yeah.
And a bucket under it. You just kind of squeezed.
Kind of like a
it.
water balloon.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
He milked that for a good 15 minutes. So
Maybe he'll be a farmer.
that's what he wants to do when he grows up. You ask him. Sometimes that's what he'll tell you. This past weekend, we went up to my sister's house, my brother-in-law. I don't get to see them as much anymore. They've moved a couple hours away, so to make that trek, you kind of have to have a plan, to go up there and kind of make a weekend out of it almost. But my niece Cassidy, it was her birthday this past week, and so we went up there for a little birthday party, watched some football. Like I said, just got to see family and hang out and meet people like that are from their church. They're heavily involved in a church up there. So a lot of people that is on my brother-in-law's side of family go to church there. He's the pastor's, his family. I got to meet them and fellowship with them. We talked about God and our certain beliefs and how we grew up, and just all types of conversation. It was a really good time.
Tell the listeners how far they drove to go to that church for how long?
So I want to say it was like 2 years. They drove one way 2.5 hours.
That's insane.
They did it every weekend. Fortunately, like I was saying, the lead pastor at that church is his uncle, my brother-in-law's uncle. So with them being family, after a few weeks of going there, they realized this was going to be really difficult. And the pastor, the uncle, whatever, said, hey, if you guys ever want to come up here on a Saturday and just hang out and stay, we'll cook, we'll do whatever, you just stay the night. And it's a little bit easier you don't like feeling rushed before church. That does not bring a inviting, spirit. It's hard to have a good service when you've been rushed all morning. So they figured out very quickly that going up there on Saturday and making a kind of a Saturday evening fellowship with family, and then go on Sunday morning, and then after lunch on Sunday they drive home. So that made it a little bit easier, but still, I mean, that's awesome that they dove into that church, and they were going to a church a little bit closer for a little while, and just went up there and visited it a couple times and fell in love with it. So,
with that being said, what's the farthest you've ever driven to church?
What do you mean?
Time wise,
like from where I've lived?
Yeah, from where you've lived.
When we lived in Greensboro.
And how long was that? Same question for you.
I think it was an hour and 10 minutes.
Hour and 10 minutes. What about you? Farthest you've drove for church, because you felt like you wanted to be there.
So for our church, when we lived with my dad, that was what? Almost a year?
Yeah, you said it was 13 months. I think you were looking for a house. So.
It was 55 minutes one way.
55 minutes.
For 13
it's a long
months.
way.
Sundays and Wednesdays.
I don't know. I guess when I lived in the yacht club, and whenever I was coming all the way up for church, I'd go up to exit 104 with Jordan. So it was close to an hour. And I'll say, that's why I kind of brought it up. If you're looking for a church and you're listening to the podcast and you don't find a church, don't be bothered if it's a little bit ways away. I mean, when it comes to a church, it's worth it to find. Now, don't go one that goes against your beliefs, but go to a church that welcomes you, that you feel appreciated at, that you feel like you're growing at. Don't go to a church you don't feel like you're growing in. If you feel like you need to be somewhere else, then search for somewhere that's gonna elevate you and make you into a better Christian. But it may not be 10 minutes down the road. And you might say, well, an hour is a long time to drive. Well, it's better than not going to church. It's better than being at a church and wishing you weren't there. I would highly suggest that. And that was kind of my whole point. The whole thing.
I'll say, as far as driving, because we made that drive for a few years, but I'll say this to that point. Like, when you find the church that you're supposed to be at, you'll care less and less and less about that drive.
Yeah.
Because that was something we faced for a little while, was like that would be the excuse to miss sometimes. And then, the heavier that we got involved, it was like it's not even an option anymore. We don't even, like, now we're not as far, but like that, it became to a point where that's not even on the table unless something's wrong. You're sick, you're out of town, whatever, that's one thing. But Sunday morning comes, Wednesday night comes, that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
that's what
right.
today's for,
Yeah.
A good church is worth it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, it sounds like you had a good week. I had a very eventful week. So it was my birthday this past week. Me and my wife went to the mountains. We went to the Blue Ridge Mountains. We had a great time. We spent 3 or 4 days there, just vacation and really just doing a bunch of nothing. We didn't have no plans. We walked around and shopped, and I didn't mind it. I tried to spend time with her, and we watched the football game, and we hung out and watched TV and just rested. I mean, the baby's been getting up a lot at night, so it was nice to have a couple days with just us. So our in-laws watched it, so shout out to them. Thankful for them. We planted our green fields over the past 2 weeks. I guess I already talked about the other green fields, but we planted our other green fields today, so I had that already on there. So me and John finished that up with Preston. Shout out to P. Jackson, Commander Pajamas, as we like to call him. I meant to say that during Sunday when Rex said, do y'all have any nicknames? I meant to say, because I called both of y'all out and I called Zepp out, but I meant to say Commander PJ or whatever. But anyways, I preached for Pastor Appreciation, taught the following Wednesday. It's been a busy couple weeks, and for my MIP, we have a supervising pastor that kind of watches and stuff like that. I was actually able to. He asked me to come and sit in on one of their church meetings, staff meetings, which I really enjoyed. That there's nothing like. I love working to make our church better. I love church meetings. And y'all may not feel that way, but I love going to church meetings. I love talking hard problems. I love trying to gather together and fix stuff. I don't know why. I just enjoy it. I enjoy being told what I'm doing wrong, and I enjoy telling people what they're doing wrong. So we can all get better. But I enjoyed going to their meeting, get to see how they do things, get to see, how we can improve, but also maybe what we're doing good at, So it was a good time, and I appreciate the pastor letting us come to that. So, and then the last thing I had was Fall Festival. Fall Festival was great. Like you said, we saw a lot of people. The men's group actually got together and cooked for it. So for a small church, I think we cooked 200-something hot dogs, 200-something hamburgers, chicken tenders, pork chops. It was a bunch of food, but we gave gave it all away free to the community, and it felt good. It felt good when people were coming and just taking food, and felt like we were getting to serve our community. So anytime you can reach out and serve your community in an event like that, it's very beneficial. Not expecting to get anything in return, just to kind of be the hands and feet of Jesus. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. We're going to dive into August of 2024. So, Alex, tell us a little about what you did in the month of August.
We renovated the new house we bought. We ripped out all the countertops, put in new backsplash in the kitchen.
Sounds like y'all didn't even like the house.
We liked the bones of the house. It was just we didn't like the finishings of the house. So it was pertinent to get the... I'm a cook. So my countertops need to be able to handle a very, very hot pot on it. Yeah. So I got to have granite in every kitchen I'm in. Because I got to be able to set the pot down on the stone and let it sit there, not to worry about it breaking it and cracking it. Plus I like to throw stuff down and chop it up on the granite. And that was the only backdraw to quartz, because I love the look of quartz. But you can crack it if you put it off an oven that's if you pull it off and it's 450 or more, it can potentially crack it.
Yeah.
And with the money you spend on stone countertops these days, sheesh, no, not risking that. But we did put quartz in the bathroom. Highly recommend it in the bathroom because it doesn't stain.
Yeah.
Water just sits on top of it, you just wipe it off. So it doesn't stain, so when your kids inevitably cover them up in gunk or get them marked up, and just wipe it off.
Or pull a razor out of the toilet and put on it or something.
Yeah, you know.
I'd rather them do that than flush it, honestly.
Look, my brain that day, I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, I can't tell some days. Saturdays, got to do what you got to do. But we had that. We had the pregnancy announcement photos, which were fully baseball centered. So I got my way on that. And I don't know if y'all been in plenty of photo shoots with your wives for kids, pregnancies, and all that. They pretty much dominate that whole scenario.
Yeah.
The theme is picked out by them. Everything's picked out by them. But I got to do the announcement photos. We held a baseball. She held what was it called? Ultrasound?
This isn't the same thing you talked about last month?
No.
I took 2 sets of photos?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get that, okay. So she planned that one. But in this one, we're in Cleveland Guardians, custom Cleveland Guardians jerseys.
So you had a dad set of announcement photos and a wife set.
Right. We had ones that look good, and then we had whatever she planned.
Yeah, trying to support Bree's ministry.
Yeah, that's all we're doing, double the pay. We did that. Football season began, and man, when you coach on a bad football team, it ruins your relationship with football for that
season. How many
season.
wins did y'all have that year?
0.
How many games?
0-10. That's brutal.
Can you count how many points you scored, or was it like
less than 100?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Less than 100 points all season.
The 4A team, which is half the size of the school we were, and we typically dominated them. They beat us by 32.
Sounds like bad coaching to me.
Y'all didn't average 10 points a game.
You were the coach. Coach.
I was the kicking coach. No, it was bad. So we thought, okay, we lost the first game because we were playing a team coached by a former Alabama star wide receiver.
Yeah.
And he told us in the pregame, he's like, I know y'all don't know a lot about us. And I'm talking to the guy because I'm like, dude, we were in college at the same time. I watched you make catches at Bama, like blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I was like, I remember the game where And I'm like, so what's the team like? He's like, this is my first year here. I know y'all don't know a lot about us, but we got a couple wide receivers that are going to smoke y'all. I'm like, oh, nice, a little smack talk. He's like, no, just be ready. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I've never coached football before.
So was that smack talk, or was he just being nice?
I think he was just warning you.
It was 42-0 at halftime.
Oh my god!
What school was this?
They were just
Jasper,
blowing by your defenders.
Oh yeah,
huh?
They had a 6'7" defensive end.
Oh my gosh!
And we're sitting there with John's height, but none of his size or strength on our offensive line.
Yeah,
we're awful. And so we lose that game. Okay, well, how bad are we going? They might be really great, and that might be what it is. The next week, you're playing a 4A team. They come out and they throttle us.
Throttle. That makes it worse. When you use words like that, it makes it worse.
Oh, they could have named the score.
They beat us pretty bad, though.
They could have named the score. And the worst thing was my nephew was on the team. He was on the 4A team. And he kept telling me for weeks, he's like, I cannot wait to play y'all. And just know I'm going to make everyone on quit. I'm going to make the entire D-line quit. And
Did he dominate?
Oh, yeah, he dominated.
Oh, man.
Second quarter, he takes our defensive end and blindside style shoves him 20 yards down the field on a play.
Oh, man.
The dude
if I was
had a-
him, I'd have shoved him into you. I'd have
His
found you on the
hell,
sideline.
I remember him telling me specifically, he's about to cut my grass. He says, first play of the game, I need you to listen for my helmet because I'm going to put it on another guy on your defensive line, and I'm going to make him quit. First play of the game, boom! I heard his helmet crack. He put the guy on his back, and I was like, okay, this is over. And I try to tell our coaches all week, like, you don't understand. My nephew, circle him on film, he's going to make y'all quit. They're like, oh, he ain't going to do it. He had like 14 pancakes, I think was his final.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, not a fun football season.
I will say, the same team you coached my senior year, 3 plays in a row, they put a different guy in front of me. First play of the game, pancake. Second play of the game, pancake. Third play, pancake. They were rolling them in there. It has more to do with the defender than it does about me. I was an okay player. I wasn't anything special. But they were bad. They were bad.
They're bad every year.
Bad.
They're still bad.
That's funny. Sound like you had a eventful month, though. John, tell us a little bit about your month of August.
Yeah, so another big month for us for the Clements household. We got the call that the house that I grew up in was up for sale. Actually, is up for sale still. Rewind like 6 months. There you go. 6 months before. Believe it or not, that was Boyd's mouth, not the recorder. That's how good that was. 6 months before this, I'm at an event cooking, and my old neighbors walk up to me and said, "Hey, your house is coming up for sale." I sign for a piece of property that week.
We talked about a couple episodes back.
I've already brought that up. It was kind of a mistake. You have to learn lessons, that type of thing. So 6 months later, whatever it is exactly, I can't remember. The people who were going to buy the house made a deal with the current owners and said, "Hey, this is our price." And they said, "We like the house. We want it. We're fine with the price. Let us put our house on the market. When we sell, when we get under contract, we'll go under contract with you." Like 6 months goes by. From the day that I was told at that event, they already were basically lined up to buy it. So from then to the day they called me, they were still planning on buying it, but they couldn't sell their house. And I was selling my land. And long story short, God made a way when we didn't think there was a way. Couldn't afford the house. Without talking too many numbers, we offered $40,000 less than the other people were going to buy it for, and they took it, which is awesome. That's definitely a God ordained thing that He, at the very least, softened their heart to where they would accept an offer like that. And just a quick little story, not to drag on too long, but just there's so many things similar to this situation, but So we went and looked at the house. Like a week goes by. We're talking about prices and stuff. That's when they accept our offer. And we go to look at it with my mom. So she hasn't seen the house in 5 years-ish, something like that, I think. When she's pulling up in the driveway, she's behind us, so you can see our car in the video.
You're talking about Sharon, avid listener, number one fan.
Our number one fan is behind us. And me and my mom have a song. It's called "Paint Me a Birmingham" by Tracy Lawrence. It's just a song we've always sang together. We both love the song. It's playing on the radio as she's pulling up to the house. Not on Spotify, not on like her iTunes, just on the radio. And she doesn't even realize it when she's videoing. She doesn't realize it till she sends me the video later, just showing us the video of the house she took. And I said, "Mama, do you hear the song?" She said, "What are you talking about?" And I played it, and it was like,
"Paint me a Birmingham."
Yeah, exactly like that. So that's just not an odd coincidence. I really think God had his hand in it. But so what's on top of that, sorry, this gets longer and longer. When we pull up to the house, the current homeowner says, "Hey, we got the package for you." And she, in my head, she's thinking that I'm so confident we're getting this house. I've already got my mail coming here.
Yeah.
Because a package arrives on the steps of this house with my name on it.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened in 5 years. I have not had a call that I've had a misplaced package. Like, you know how sometimes you move for a couple months or something, they might get some mail from you, so they figure it all out and it gets worked out. 5 years, that has not happened.
Yeah.
Not once. My credit card information gets stolen a couple weeks before this, I guess. The people who stole my credit card ordered a brand new Xbox, the newest one. And I guess they couldn't change the shipping address, so it shipped to that old credit card, last known thing. I don't use this credit card anymore. I still have it just in case. But anywho, package comes. She says, "Hey, you have a package here," and I'm like, well, "I didn't order anything. I definitely didn't order it to your house.
Yeah,
this is not my house yet." So a package comes the day that we're showing my mom. We're looking at the house. It's supposed to be kind of a big day. And we pull up, and the package with my name on it is at the front steps. And
it's a brand new Xbox.
Which is neat. And I still have that Xbox. I called, and they said, I had this I think my credit card carrier, I called them, whatever, and they said, just keep it. We'll refund the money. We'll refund the card, or you don't have to pay it. And I said, well, what do I do with the Xbox? She said, I don't care what you do with the Xbox. So I kept it. Maybe that's dishonest. I don't know.
This is how you get a free Xbox if you're listening at home.
Allow somebody to steal your credit card information. So there's multiple things like that. I could talk all night with the way that God ordained us to move back to my childhood house. If I didn't say that, this is the house that I lived in for 19 years. We moved. My dad passed away, and I told my parents from the time I was probably 13 years old to the day we moved out, but before I realized we were going to move out, that I'm going to buy this house from y'all. Y'all can downsize, do whatever. I'm going to raise my family here too, for years and years and years. Yeah. And God made a way. He knew that that's what I needed, and he's good for sure. But moving on from that, we had that little Brookwood ballpark bash. That was fun. Listened to some music, ate some ballpark food. I made some pork skin nachos. Remember those?
Yeah.
At the draft, I guess.
The draft, yeah.
At the draft. Yeah. So those were yummy. And then I also did a stump job for a guy who has a van that looks exactly like the Scooby-Doo van. Whatever. What did you call it?
Mystery Machine.
Mystery Machine. Mm-hmm. Why you know that, I don't know.
I watch Scooby-Doo a lot.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Where are you?
Anywho.
No, it's not anywho.
I was trying to move on.
It sounded like it rhymed, though.
So that's weird that he has that. I can't imagine
really
being.
Not,
it is though.
That's an iconic vehicle to anyone over the age of 35.
Okay, maybe, but to put
Clearly
that kind of money into a vehicle just for it to look like, you can't be like. I can't imagine being that big of a fan of Scooby-Doo.
Look, sir, if you're listening to this podcast right now, John's not bashing you this
John Clements at gmail.com.
It's neat. I just can't imagine putting that kind of money into a...
Maybe he bought it. Maybe it was passed down.
You've seen the General Lee Chargers. I mean, that's made out of the
Maybe it was in the movie and they just gave it to him. Maybe that was Shaggy.
Maybe he is Scooby-Doo.
No, maybe he's Shaggy.
Wait, is Scooby-Doo the dog?
Yes, the dog.
Oh, man. So he's probably not Scooby-Doo, but he could be Shaggy. And then church-wise, I have pictures of doing the trim work and doing the flooring. And, man, my hamstrings, I can still feel it a little bit over a year later. My hamstrings. So I didn't have knee pads.
Yeah.
So I just hunched over the whole time putting those snap-in flooring in.
It was a lot.
And me and Jason were a heck of a team. We were rolling through putting that floor in.
Talking 2,000 square foot floor.
We did it in how long?
I don't know.
Like a day and a half?
It was a lot.
It was fast.
It was less than 2 days.
I say a day and a half. A day and a half for people who work full-time jobs.
Does that mean we did your flooring too, or is that on the next episode?
That was the next episode.
Okay. We'll get to that.
Much easier.
Much easier. Better team.
Well,
so that was my...
Except for the thresholds. Remember that?
Yeah, that was...
You and me, we had to tackle that. That was miserable.
That was annoying.
Well, sounds like you had a memorable month of August of 2024. Sure. I had a pretty good month. That's when they finished my pool. So we got to enjoy that. We got several videos of the guys jumping in and having a good time, and Sadie sliding in whenever I just got the water in, just making fun of it. We enjoyed it. We had our fantasy draft party. August is always when we try to do it. August 1st to September, because that's when football starts, and that's when John made the nachos, and we had the big 4-inch steaks and everything. I got them cut way too big.
They were yummy, though.
Yeah, they were really good. They're always good. we had a really good time. We had me and my wife. I guess it sounds like we're always taking a trip. We went to North Carolina that month.
We never get away. This episode, 2 trips.
Yeah, 2 trips, 1 month. Went to North Carolina. We had a fun time. I think the most memorable thing from North Carolina trip was we went golfing. I seen a little alligator in a pond, and I chipped in for the first time. It was for like triple bogey, but I chipped in for the first time, and that's all that matters. It probably wasn't, but it could have been. And I was playing with 3 other random people, so I felt like a stud when I chipped in. They're all like jumping up and down. I'm like, I've been here before.
We'll say double bogey.
I've been here before. Act like you've been here. I didn't know how to react. If they would have been here, they probably could have talked me into jumping in the pond with the alligator, but, nobody was there, so. Nobody worth fighting for.
And Jordan didn't know what happened, so.
Yeah, she's on the golf cart like, oh, good job. That don't happen often.
She's like, don't you do that every hole?
Yeah. Yeah, sonny. Yeah, just write a 6 on there and hush. We're going to the next hole. Is 6 good? Yeah, sure, whatever. And then I also, that same month, I have a picture of, I guess it was one of the golf tournaments we went to. Maybe it was a TCS one, or maybe it was.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't remember what it was, but I remember.
TCS.
It was TCS?
Yeah.
We were writing. So in the tournament, you have different, challenges. So, there's a closest to the pin, there's a farthest drive, stuff like that. And how they mark it is there's a piece of paper stuck in the ground, and you write on there. And, I remember pulling up to a par 3, and I said, oh, this is the closest to the pin. Obviously, we didn't even hit the green.
It's like 3 inches from the hole.
Yeah, it's very close. And we're like, somebody stuck that. That was nice. We don't even hit the green, whatever. And we're playing with 2 separate groups. So I think it's me, John, and Tyler, and then David Barnett, maybe, and Jason, and I think even Jacob was supposed to play.
Yeah.
That's 2 separate groups. Well, we get up there, and I said, that says Dave Pierce on it. And I went up there and I looked and I was like, David? And you could tell David's handwriting. And I'm like, David. And it was the second name. There was one on there closer, and I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. And we went out there and we asked him, we're like, David, ain't no way you put it that close to the pin. Come to find out, he thought it was the longest drive, so he moved it back because he overhit the green. So it was further. It was just so funny.
I thought he didn't realize what it meant. What
he put
closest
his name
to
on
the
there.
pin was.
Yeah, I think he thought it was one of the longer drives.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
That was so funny.
It was hilarious.
So
this is the same guy that hit the roof.
So he could have gotten. So he should just go for longest drive to get his hole in one.
Yeah.
Man, that's a strategy.
Yeah. He said, I pulled my driver out on par 3. I'm winning this. And he didn't win. Somebody put it closer, obviously. Oh, my gosh. But anyways, we had a backpack prayer service. I think this is something we've started doing pretty much every year now at Restoration. So we get all the kids' backpacks together, get them ready for school because they start school in August, and we pray over them. Most of the time, we let the kids come up with their backpack on. We'll pray over them. We got a couple pictures of that, family praying together, and it's the importance of praying over your kids because you don't really know what they battle at school, and especially if your kids go to public school or even if they go to private school, they're going to battle stuff, and just having prayer over them and putting a hedge of protection over them, that's something that we believe in, so we try to do that every year before they go to school. It's a great event. It's always a great event just to get families praying together because how often does that happen, and then I have a bunch of church stuff, so before you put the flooring in, one of the main things you have to do is clean the flooring. And it probably took longer to clean the floor itself than actually put the flooring in.
Yeah. So
we had scrapers where we're having to go through, and those mud guys, they act like the sheetrock was terrible because there was mud everywhere, and we're scraping the floors, we're vacuuming the floors, wiping the floors. I mean, it was a lot of cleanup, but that's part of it, trying to get it ready and just getting all that stuff together. And that was pretty much it. I mean, it was a busy month at the church, but it didn't feel like we were. When we got the floors up, it felt like, man, this looks good. We're done. I remember when we got that floor up, it was like, we're done. That's it. And that was, in fact, not it. But it felt good. I mean, it looked like a building. You know what I mean? Yeah. You go from concrete with paint and stuff all over it to having floors in it. It feels like a building. You know what I mean? We still don't have toilets and stuff like that in there yet, but we're getting there. So it was a busy month, but it was a good month. So August is always the hottest month, but it's always a month that it feels like it lasts so long. But we got a lot done and we accomplished a lot. So it's a good month. So we're gonna jump into our next segment of the week. We're gonna go to the Digi update of the week. right, Alex. Tell us a little bit about your Did You Update of the week.
So, Baylor was not having it in service last Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Just fussing up a storm. So
Who was teaching that night? Me.
You?
Yes.
Oh, well.
Thank you.
It was trivia, that's right. So I take him out, and as soon as I get him out of the sanctuary, blah, he vomits on me. So I derobe him, and he's just in a diaper, and we didn't have any extra clothes. And I go down to the fellowship hall, and I'm just sitting there because they're doing Boys and Girls Club at the same time, which is chaos, by the way. Nothing but yelling and screaming. And they have this game. You remember the game in elementary school where you line all the kids up and the teacher goes and tells them, "Hey, I need you to say this sentence," and then you tell the person next to you. And you all the way down. Yeah, sure.
I think it's Chinese telephones, what they call it.
Okay, I don't know about that. So they line up the kids. They tell the sentence to the first kid, and they have to get all the way to the end and see how distorted it got. Mm-hmm. What words did you leave out? So two of the boys were sitting next to each other. They shouldn't have been sitting next to each other. They fight all the time. And then just like normal boy fighting, like just kind of punch you in the face, slap you in the head, stuff like that. Not like actual just beat you up fighting. Though the kid who's more the bully, he gets the phrase the first time, turns around, spits in his hand, and just slaps the kid. He slaps the back of the neck of the kid next to him. That's the first round. Okay, they come back around. And the kid who got slapped in the back of the neck gets the story and then turns around and like just grabs his ear as hard as he can. And the kid screams a little bit. And all right, they get it to the end. It comes back around. And this is the best one. He turns around and he just sticks his fingers in the kid's nostrils and just pulls him right to his face and says, "Here's the phrase, you better not mess it up." And the kid is like, he's like screaming the whole time because it's got to hurt, right?
Oh my gosh, that's disgusting.
Just holding him right there, and he tells it to him, and then he lets him go. And then he tells it.
You're just watching this happen?
I'm just watching. I'm holding Baylor. I'm an innocent bystander. I'm letting them do their thing. It comes back around. And finally, the kid wants to retaliate with the nose thing. And he does this, and he accidentally punches him in the mouth. And the kid just got clocked right there. And he gets up, starts crying, goes to the teacher. He says, "Oh, you're okay, you're okay." He just got slapped a little bit in the face. Kid got punched hard.
Give me another phrase, Doc.
And I'm
He's ready to go for his turn again.
I just watched this happen.
It sounds like the slap tournaments they do on.
I'm like, am I watching the Three Stooges here? Oh, there's no way they were getting the phrase back and forth, but they grabbed the kid by the nostrils, like he's a bull, and just bring him right to you and just yell the phrase in his face. I've never. It was just so gruesome. And these kids are what, 4 and 5 years old? Is that how old? Y'all know who I'm talking about.
I mean,
oh yeah.
You know the two kids. Half the people listening at home know the two kids.
Great kids. Alex is not talking bad about the kids.
Here's the funniest part. It was a theme day at their school, and they were dressed as 50s greasers doing this. Beating each other up with slick back hair, the little white T-shirts rolled up, just beating the mess out of each other.
Hey, they're going to be tough. But they at church, they're going to know the Lord, too.
They will, but he's going to remember those fingers up his nose. He's going to smell those fingers the rest of his life. That kid got him good. That was funny. The boys' club battle.
The boys' club battle. That's a good one. John, tell us your Did You Update of the week.
Mine is less funny and more disgusting. It's funny because how disgusting it is. So, this past weekend, before we go to my sister's, we stop at the pumpkin patch. And we're there, and we had just got like some, what do you call it? Truck food? What do they call it? Vendor truck?
Food truck.
Food truck. Food truck food.
Truck food. Food truck.
We got some of that, and Riley says, "I have to pee." It's like, okay, I could go myself. So I take him.
Y'all got the wood line?
Good idea.
Well, that's usually what he'll want to do. But we go the right way. We go to these little porta potties, but they build them where it's on a
little platform.
A platform,
yep.
And it's not porta potties, it's stalls, and they actually flush.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice, actually. But so we're in line, we're waiting, and I tell them, like, when we come in here, like, don't touch anything. Like, I'll hold you up. Like, just that gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Oh,
going into places like that. Even though these are pretty nice, it's still disgusting.
Yeah,
like
but you will use the bathroom anywhere.
Oh yeah, I will.
Not
but
me.
I'm not gonna lick the toilet, which he doesn't.
I hope we're not going down that route.
It's not far.
Riley,
Oh,
don't
no.
lick the toilet this time when you go in here, son.
I tell him
Heebie-jeebie.
when we're in line, don't touch anything. He says okay.
Bad idea. Shouldn't have told him that. Now he's got to touch something.
We open the door, and it's kind of a hard, springy door. Like, I don't know why they have to slam so hard. So I'm kind of holding it, and it catches me off guard a little bit. He runs in because now he sees the toilet, and you all know once you see the toilet,
gotta go.
you need to get
gotta
them
go.
britches off. It's time. So he runs in. And like I said, I'm having kind of struggling with the door. Like, it kind of closes on me, so I kind of get in, and I'm turned around, facing the door. We're both in the stall. He's getting his britches down, and I latch the door. I turn around, and he takes his hand and wipes a bunch of pee off the seat, and I almost come unglued.
Oh my
I yelled
God.
his name, Riley, and he looked at me, and I said, "Don't touch me," because I just knew he was gonna realize what he did. Yeah, I knew he
And
was
just
gonna
wipe it
realize
on
what
you.
he did and try to touch me, and I would have punched him in the mouth. I would have.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure of it. I said, "Riley, don't touch me," and he freezes, and I said, "We don't do that." And I got some toilet paper and I wiped his hands off, and we did our thing, and we washed our hands for like 10 minutes. That was disgusting.
Where did you wash
He
your
had-
hands?
He had
had
to
like a
think it
little-
was like almost like getting on a seat on a swing that had water in it
Well,
or something.
Maybe. Like, I mean, we don't have
he
pee
didn't
on
wanna
our seat at home, so it's not something like he
didn't wanna sit
wouldn't
in
have
it.
thought.
He didn't want to sit
We
in
weren't
the
sitting
liquid.
down. We weren't going to sit down.
We don't
But
sit as
normally-
men. I don't know
But
what you.
I think he just saw a puddle and just like he wasn't. I don't even think he was trying to clean the seat. I think he just saw.
Did he not have to go to the bath? Like, did he not have to go number 2? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
he was just going to pee.
That's why I said the wood line.
The what?
Yeah, I don't
The
understand
one he
wiping the
touched-
seat.
He just saw the
Okay.
he just saw
He said,
the
"Oh,
wa-
wow."
pee on the
I
seat.
thought he wasn't going to take a number 2 in the liquid, and I'm like, I don't blame the kid.
No, when
I would have gone to another one in that case.
no, you wipe the seat off. You don't do it with your hand.
I wouldn't
Hey,
wipe it off.
if
I'd
it's
just
really
walk
bad,
out.
John will take his socks and put it around the
No,
toilet. I ain't using no public bathroom. Y'all can keep
but that was terrible. And I didn't even tell Julie about that because I think I was just so disgusted and so disappointed.
She'll find out in like 3 months when she listens to another episode.
No, she listens.
So
to us.
Riley, when you're 18, listen to this. You're a disgusting individual.
But they had these little homemade
but at least you'd hold
outside
the
of that.
goats,
We
you
were
know?
able to wash our hands, soap and everything. So
At least you'd hold the goats and milk the fake cow and everything. So
yeah, so that was my did ya of the week. My son touched another man's urine.
Get that out quick.
After I told him not to touch anything.
That's your mistake. Don't just yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like golf. They say if you say don't slice, that's the first thing you do when you get up there. You just
don't-
think about it.
You don't
You do.
jinx it.
It's kind of like,
hit
if you've
mine
ever
dead
been in that
straight.
situation where you drop your razor in the toilet and you're like, don't flush, and then you just flush it.
Yeah.
Oh, me.
Good
So
plumbing episode.
my Did You Update of the Week comes from our Pastor Appreciation message. So I'm going to retell a story that I told at Pastor Appreciation because it killed. It was a good story. It was an intro story.
Or should you tell the stop sign one?
No, we can't tell the stop
That
sign.
one is.
No, we
oh
can't
my
tell the
god,
stop
that
sign.
one's so funny.
Can't tell the
That's
stop
the
sign.
best. You can.
We'll see. We'll see how
we're
this
not on the
goes.
pulpit right now.
We'll see how this goes.
You can tell it.
So I'm up there preaching, and I said, I got to have a funny story for our pastor because he's my father-in-law, so I've got plenty of funny stories. And so I told her, I said, one night I was over at their house eating dinner, and Jordan went to the kitchen to put her plate up or something like that, and I said, okay, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get me a little smooch. And everybody laughs at that, because it's weird to hear a preacher say smooch or whatever. And I ain't
No,
doing
it's
none of
the
that.
look you made.
It's
It's the
me.
look you made.
It's me. I ain't. Don't even touch my shoulder in public. Whatever. And so I go in there and I kiss her or whatever. And as soon as I start to kiss her, I can feel her like shake and pull back. And I'm like, what is going on? Is it an earthquake? And over the side of my shoulder, I see Pastor walking in the kitchen. And so we're both like startled, caught off guard, because we're not 16, 17 years old. And he just looks at us and he goes, gotcha. and laughs and walks off. And we're both like just terrified, just tortured right there. And I told him, I said, I think I was even nervous to kiss my wife at our wedding because I could hear that gotcha in the back of my head.
Oh, that's terrible.
And now the stop sign story.
I don't know about the stop sign
You
story.
can tell it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's
So
not inappropriate.
kind of same story. We had this thing when we were dating. We said, if we pull up to a stop sign, I'm going to give you a kiss. I'll lean over, kiss you in my truck or whatever. It's weird to even say that. I just don't talk about this kind of stuff. But anyways, and I was telling them afterward because I said I thought about telling them, but I didn't. And so I leaned over and kissed her, whatever. We're pulling into her neighborhood from, I guess, going out to eat or something like that. And I pull it to a stop sign quite close to her house. And I lean over and I kiss her, probably a little longer than I should have. And I start coming back over to my seat to the steering wheel, and I see a truck park right beside me. I'm like, that's weird. How long they been sitting there watching us, these creeps? And I look over and I said, Jordan, I think that's your grandparents. And they were waiting to speak to us. Had to finish kissing. Roll. Acted like it never happened. Just talked to us as normal as day. Oh my gosh, talking about embarrassed. I was definitely more embarrassed that time because it was weird. But
Because they watched it.
I don't know. Maybe they pulled. I like to
Really,
think
they were a part of it. That was like a
They
memorable
watched it.
thing,
Core
I like
memory.
to think they pulled up beside us at the perfect
No,
time,
no.
almost like we were waiting on them.
No. They were there.
Knowing me, I was probably like, look, we got to let this car pass, so I need to kiss you a second longer because they got to pass. Anyways, I can't turn. It's 16 years old, whatever. Gross. But anyway, so there's
Stop
your funny
signs.
digi update
Stop
of the
signs
week.
and red lights. Every time I'm at a red light now, I'm like,
Hey,
did Boyd stop and kiss at this
16
one?
years old, first person I ever dated, whatever. Whatever. But, so that was our digi update of the week. We'll be right back. And we're back. We're going to get into our scriptures for the month and kind of stuff we've been dealing with and also stuff we were dealing with in the month of August. So, John, why don't you tell us your scripture? Alex said he didn't have a good scripture for this month, so we're going to give him a little break this
Just
month.
throw me under the bus.
Well, I mean, they're going to say, why didn't you start with Alex? I have to say,
They're
because
not-
he's not
who's
close
they?
to the Lord in August.
Nobody's saying that. Nobody.
Commenters, please let us know that you are unpleased with Alex.
All
not
three
having-
of them right now.
Oh, man.
So
my sister, and John's mom.
my scripture,
If
my
she knew how to
scripture
comment on YouTube.
for this week is Ecclesiastes 3:11. It says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, he has put eternity into man's heart, yet so that he cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end." And the reason I chose this was thinking about last August with the house situation and how just divine it felt and how God truly had his hand in everything. I don't think you really truly appreciate and understand how God can control your life and
Other
just
people's lives.
other people's lives. He can when it's his will, it'll be done.
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
And there was no way that this was ever, like, we had lost hope on that house when we heard back in the spring of 24 that the house was going back up for sale. Because this family has got kids going off to college. Like, they were downsizing to this house. This was going to be like, there's no telling how long they're going to be there. So that's our mindset. Like, that's why we bought that. That's not why we bought that land, but we're buying that land. We thought it was just kind of over. You know?
Kind of gave up on it.
Right. And then it gets brought back into the picture, and it's like, well, it's almost like my fear was like it's gotten brought back to the light, and I'm just going to get let down again. Because I can't afford this house. It's terrible timing. But just like it says right here, he has made everything beautiful in its time, in his time. It's divine timing. And then the next part, it says, also he has put eternity into man's heart, yet so that he cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. And my notes on that was, first of all, the divine timing behind his will and the things that he has set apart or set for your life, it'll happen. Just follow him and he'll make the path to what he wants done. And then the next part was there's awareness of something more than this world. It's the hope for eternity. And that we can't grasp how big and how good he is and what he has and what what he has accomplished and that what he will accomplish. We can't even fathom the things that he puts into play every day. Like, we're just one person. And he's taking time out of his day, like Pastor Rex, I think, said this past week. Think about it like this. He's taking time out of his day, God, to meet your needs. He does that for everybody. He's hearing your prayers. He's hearing what you're needing. And we can't even fathom what that really takes. Like, our brains can't even imagine what he's able to accomplish. And I just think that's what August of 24 was for us.
Yeah.
We couldn't even imagine the things. And we didn't even really, we just, the tip of the iceberg, what we talked about tonight, those couple little, I call them coincidences, but God things that happened, those were just a couple of the many things that he did in us getting this house, that you could just feel that it was him. It wasn't us. It wasn't anything we did. We didn't deserve it. We didn't, like I said, we couldn't even afford it. And he made a way. He just kept proving and kept making a way. So I just thought those verses were exactly what I would have loved to hear back at that time, for sure.
Yeah.
But
I think what Pastor was saying was, God surpasses all time.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a timing. So what something might feel delayed for us, or something might feel like, how could he work it out right now? There's not enough time, or whatever it is. He's been working stuff out in the background for who knows how long. You know what I mean? There's no time with him. He can stop time and make it happen in whichever way he wants to. We don't really know how it works, but we know he's a good God, and we know his hands in everything if you look for it. Anybody can say, oh, that's a crazy coincidence. You know what I mean? Most normal people would say it's a crazy coincidence. Most normal people wouldn't have it because they didn't pray for it, or didn't look for it.
Yeah.
You definitely have to look for it.
And that's one of the things that, like, my brother-in-law, when he talks about this situation and us getting this house and really them getting their house too, it kind of worked very similarly. But I fasted for a few days in the waiting period between finding out that we're gonna have a chance at it and even look at it, and finding out that they're gonna accept that offer. I fasted a few days, and that was the first time that I've fasted before, and I've had some like intense prayer and fasting time, trying to get closer to God and give God more of myself. But this is, I would say, the first time that I've fasted in a way of like, God, I need you to hear me, and I need to hear from you as well. And that's my brother-in-law's favorite part of this whole story, is that I relinquished it all to him. I was trying to do my best to not necessarily get my hopes up and not do anything that I shouldn't do just to get the house. That's the biggest thing, because that's kind of what we did with the land. We were buying this land just because we thought that's what we were supposed to be doing, and it's not at all what we were supposed to be doing. But that was just, I wish I could talk about all the things that went on for God to make this happen, but it was good. God's good.
Yeah. Yep. His timing's perfect. Yep. I've got a verse for us, and y'all might say, hey, I've heard that verse before. And that's because you have, if you listen to the podcast. So the verse I chose was our logo verse. It's Galatians 6:9. It's on our hats. It's and let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. And the reason I chose that is because the month of August, like we said before, it feels like the longest month. It feels like, kids are starting back to school. It feels like, it just, all these things are hitting you all at once. You're trying to get back into routine, trying to get your kids back to sleep, trying to start getting your kids to school. I mean, it seems like everything's happening, and we're still working on this building, and it's hot. In Alabama, it is hot. It's the hottest month of the year, and it's easy. I mean, it was easy that time of the year. It felt good getting the flooring up, but cleaning the building is not fun. I mean, those parts of the little detail stuff when you're working on a building is not fun. It doesn't feel like you're accomplishing anything. And it was, understanding that cleaning the floors is just as important as putting the walls up. Cleaning the floors, cleaning the toilets, whatever it is, it all goes back to what you do in a church as well. I mean, it doesn't matter if you clean the church. It doesn't matter if you teach a Wednesday night. It doesn't matter if you preach on Sunday morning. Paul talks about it, you're all one body. The body of Christ, you're all one body to work together. You're the hands, you're the feet. You're working together to accomplish one goal. And it takes all of us to do that. It takes all of us working and not growing weary of what we're doing, because we could have easily said, we've been here this whole time. Why are we cleaning the floors? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? But it's not getting out of the mindset of I want to do good. I want to, because in due time, we knew we were going to reap a harvest. In due time, where it felt like, we're getting close to the end, we were going to reap a harvest. And not a harvest of more families. We were going to reap a harvest for our children. This whole building was just for our children and our youth, and for more storage and a couple bathrooms. But the kids' faces, the smiles on their faces, and how much it meant to them. It was just, in August, I feel like it's key to look back at that verse and say, this is for me, it's one of the toughest times of the year, because it's so hot. The days feel like they're long. It's just so long. You're getting the kids back in school. It's just, don't grow weary. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep working for the Lord. Find what that little nugget that keeps you going, and just strive to do better each day. But I think that was the verse for me, because I just really needed something that said, don't grow weary, because it's going to matter. It's going to matter in the end. Whenever you see those kids' faces, whenever we watch the video, I love watching the video, watching it go up and everything like that. So. And
even before, like, the videos and all that of when we started getting to use the building.
Yeah.
Like, watching people come in when they saw the floor.
Yeah.
Was like, oh man, like, even the people who weren't super involved for one reason or another, they would come in and be like, man, they really did this.
Yeah.
Like, God's built a building on this hillside, and it's almost time to start using it.
Yeah.
Like, the flooring's in, like, it's almost game time.
Oh yeah.
And you can see people really starting to get excited when you start seeing flooring, because flooring is getting close to one of the last things you do. We're not done yet, but it's the harvest is right there on the tip. You know what I mean? Like, it's within reach.
Yep. Yeah, and I'll say this. I mean, I still have family that came to church on Sunday that I got to show the building. And it's like, y'all built that?
Yeah.
And it kind of baffles people. I mean, it's crazy that we built that. And we couldn't have without God. I mean, and then one of them said, you fell off that? And I fell off that. But God protected me. But I will say this, just like God tells the Israelites in the Old Testament many times, when God has those miracles in your life, when God has miracles of the building, it's time to make a memory. It's time to hang a banner. It's time to make a memorial for what God did. Yeah. And the whole reason for the memorial is not to worship the memorial and not a gold calf or nothing like that. It's to remind ourselves that God did it. Mm-hmm. There's so many times in our life where you could, several years down the road, that story's going to start to wear down if you don't remind yourself.
Right.
If you don't remind your kids when they get old enough, maybe at Christmas, tell them as a Christmas story, just as a memory of what God did, in that house, and tell about it over and over again. Just like with the building, we need to set up a memory for it, how we can celebrate it, because that's not an easy task. I mean, I would say it's one of the toughest tasks we've done as a church. I mean, or
it's
you
one
could
of the hardest
do as a
things
church.
We've all done in our lives.
I mean, building the whole building, it's crazy to even think about. And what's even crazier, I know they weren't in this in depth, but this is what people did back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In way shorter time, they didn't, and had to cut down the trees and make it themselves. But I mean, I don't know. It's just a lot to even think about. But it took us, a year and 3 or 4 months, or however long it was. It was a long time, but we need to set up a memorial, and we haven't had a dedication for it. I'm excited for whenever we do get that, because I don't know, you just need that moment of like, wow, you know what I mean? Just stepping back and bringing in the overseers and letting people see it, because it's like, wow, God did this, and thank Him for it, and have a whole service thanking Him for it. So that was my August of 2024 verse. So, I guess that brings us to the end of the podcast number 20.
We made it.
We made it. Four more and we'll be into 2025. Be about caught up. Well, Alex, you want to pray us out?
I will definitely pray us out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. You can email prayer requests at thesmallchurchpodcast@gmail.com and leave comments on the video. If you're watching, just leave us a comment. Even if you're just saying, hey, I'm watching.
Yeah, it helps.
Comments help, because like we've said plenty of times, this is not a get a monetary thing for us. This is just think about how many small churches there are in our country.
Yeah.
And to be able to have a podcast and just encourage them.
Yeah.
So this could help a church in the middle of nowhere, Kansas.
Yeah.
Right? And they're going through the same thing we are.
That's right.
So, not to say that we're better than them, but, we can help them out.
Yeah.
And they can help us. They might help us out.
And it might even be just seeing that we're going through the same stuff and that there's an outcome. You know what I mean? That it's worth going through. It's worth pushing for.
Because we're going for the same thing they are.
Yeah.
Adding to the kingdom.
That's right.
And if we can help another church add to the kingdom the way churches have helped us.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we've all been blessed by churches that aren't ours. So just let us know what you're doing. Let us just talk to us.
Yeah. We
would love to hear from people. I'd be excited to see who's listening. But like I said, again, just subscribe, share, email us prayer requests, leave a comment. I'm going to pray for us. And then we will talk to you guys next episode, number 21.
21.
Amazing. All right, let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you again for the opportunity to do this podcast, Lord. Even if it just helps one church out there, Father, it was worth it. All the time and effort put into this, Father. I pray that you would bless it. Bless all those that are listening, Father, whatever they may be going through. I call them healed. I call them blessed. I call increase in their name. I call souls saved for the kingdom. Whatever their prayer requests may be, Father, we pray that you would just meet them where they are. Let your will be done. Get us back here safely again in a couple weeks. And let us just look back one day and go, man, can you believe when we were at 21, now we're at 200? What a time.
Yeah.
All glory, all honor to you, Jesus. Amen.
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 Thank you for listening to the Small Church Podcast.